Just keep in mind some devices are alike, but they are not quite the same. Hi everyone, welcome to the lab. This is Sereth. As always, safety first. Safety tip of the day. The battery may explode in the fire. Be careful, be safe. So, even though I'm not a native English speaker, the battery may explode in the fire sounds a bit like all your base R belong to us. If you know, you know. But it's easy to remember. It's a good reminder to not be mean to our batteries and the devices that have batteries inside. But someone was mean to this device, and it happened back in the factory. But before I tell you about that, let me tell you about the weather forecast. You might have heard there's a chance of rain. Okay? A chance of rain. Well, this icon over here that reads Wi-Fi, wireless, this means there's a chance of Wi-Fi. It might be internal Wi-Fi or a USB dongle or no Wi-Fi at all. And this device had no Wi-Fi at all. But it had a different issue. You see, I have what I think in English it's called quirks. One of which is whenever I receive a new device, be it brand new, second hand, for repairs, lab equipment, whatever, I open it up and I check the internals, the insides. And the first thing I check is the battery, when applicable, or the power source. And sometimes batteries come bloated, or they're not properly seated, or they're perfectly fine. Some others are out of place. And this device had its battery glued with double-sided tape to the CPU and the RAM. And that is not good. Let me explain. Let's say this is a stove, an electric one or one without flames, you name it. Well, if it's hot, you can hover your hand over it and not get burnt. But if you touch it, yeah, then you get burnt, and it hurts. You don't do that, okay? Why is that? Why can you hover your hand on top of the stove and not get burnt? Well, it's because, even if you're feeling heat, it's not the heat in the stove, it's the heat in the air. There's air between your hand and the stove, and that's being heated too. And the air is an insulator. The moment there's no more air between your hand and the stove and you touch it, then you get burnt. Because the stove is significantly hotter than the air between your hand and the stove. Because of that, you don't want your battery to be touching the stove. In this case, the CPU, the RAM, the Wi-Fi chip. Those three get really, really hot. And why is that? Well, because that heat transfer into the battery can degrade the battery. It actually will degrade the battery. Sooner or later, it will happen. And degraded batteries may explode when they discharge or when you put it up for charging. And you don't really want that, do you? Really? So to fix it, you take out these 4 screws and use a guitar pick around it, and you get this. Yeah. The battery was glued here. You really, really don't want that. And yeah, I have heard jokes about a certain company using batteries as heat sinks. And they're no longer doing that, I believe. I hope. But anyway, you peel the battery slowly, gently but firmly up. You might need to hold the device and pull the battery. And once you've taken it out, you clean up the residue from the double-sided tape with isopropyl alcohol, and you use double-sided tape in the appropriate place, which is the back of the device, so there will be a gap between the battery and the CPU, the RAM, and the Wi-Fi chip. So for most people that will be all. You can put it back, plug the battery, screw the 4 screws in place, and that will be all. But yeah, I think I mentioned that I have some quirks. So I decided to upgrade this device a bit. First thing I did was this. I've added a rumble motor. It's a 1034. It's a standard, it's cheap, and blue goes down, red goes up. And it works. But if we leave it like that, this device will sound like an old Nokia phone, and the rumble will be even annoying. It won't be good. So I've added this, which is foam from packaging. Again, double-sided tape on the other side. And what this does is apply some force on top of the rumble motor, and when the rumble motor actuates, when it vibrates, when it rumbles, that vibration will be muffled, so it won't sound like an old Nokia phone, and part of that vibration will be sent to the back of the device, and indeed the whole device, improving the experience by a lot. Depending on the device, you might want to use EVA foam instead of packaging foam, because this is low density, but this works great. This vibration is greatly improved this way. Some other things I've done. The shoulder and trigger buttons, I've applied EVA foam, 0.5 millimeter thick, self-adhesive, and by doing that, these buttons no longer rattle, and they're also a bit muffled. It's not like they're completely quiet. I could have gone with UV resin inside to make them kind of solid, and that would make them quieter, but let's have a hear. That's enough for me. And yeah, other thing I did was switch light buttons, which won't fit in this device, but you can make them fit using a very, very peculiar tool you might have never seen. Yeah, I think you call this nail clippers? Yeah, you can cut bits of the outside of the ring in the lower part of the button to make them fit. And yeah, the keys have nothing to do with the switch light. So, especially for the A button, you will need to add a leg to the south position. I did so with a piece of plastic and a soldering iron. And if you're interested in how I did that, let me know in the comments below, and I will explain in a video. Because yeah, these buttons, they're a great improvement for this device. These are extreme rates. I'm not sure I mentioned it, but yeah, kind of expensive, but totally worth it. Also, these ones, yeah, I strongly dislike the colorful buttons, the Skittles buttons, the ones that have colorful lettering. But these are awesome. And yeah, another thing I did was to the LED. You will notice that most transparent devices will have light leaks from the power LED, and this one doesn't, and neither does this one. And that's because I have used shrink tube and EVA foam and a little tiny bit of that vibration is great. Yeah, I was saying a bit of the envelope that the glass screen protectors come in to make a diffuser. If you're interested, let me know, and I will make a video tutorial or something and explain the whole process, because that's convoluted. But again, totally worth it. These devices are great. And yeah, I might be explaining more about these devices and plenty others. And by these devices, I don't just mean the R46H or the so-called R46H Max Pro, whatever, which is the one that has the bumps on the back and also has vents from the factory. Yeah, I'm starting to guess someone's eavesdropping around here in the lab. And there's also another device that has the same internals and the same screen. And yeah, this, I think they call it the R46H. And it's got this awful silvery UV print. I don't know if you can notice, it's kind of silvery, but yeah, this is ugly duckling of the family. Not talking about you, Rudy. Really, it's this thing. But yeah, this device is very interesting. It also has vents, so I could spend quite some time telling you about this 3D printed brackets and these dust filters for PC fans. But I wanted some ventilation over here, and I wanted to have one on the bottom and one on the top, because these devices, we hold them like this, and hot air goes up because hot air expands, and when it expands and some of it leaks outside, colder air goes in, and yeah, you can tell I got some quirks. But anyway, I'll be telling you more about these devices and some other stuff later on some other day. And if you want to know about the stuff I left out of this video, well, just please let me know, and I will tell you and give you a hand and make a video, whatever. So yeah, more videos to come. In the meantime, be well.